Windbreaker Season 2 has now officially ended, so let's frickin' talk about it. So, episode 25 of Windbreaker Season 2 has now officially come out. All of the episodes of Season 2 and Season 1 are now available for you guys to go and binge and watch right now. And Season 2, I thought Season 1 was freaking incredible, man. I really did. But Season 2 was even better. It really was. It really dove into the characters. We also got huge reveals and more insights to how Ume came to power and how it was all formed. And we get this character Endo, and there's a legend behind him. But then we get the tease at the end of a character that Ume has never beaten, which I can't wait for that confrontation. So let's get into Season 2, because Season 2 for me was just phenomenal from start to finish. And what I think was so good about this season was the way they developed Sakura. Now, Sakura, as we knew from Season 1, was this guy that, just fought for the thrill of winning. That was the purpose. In this season, they really broke the character down and showcased him multiple ways and reasons to why people fight. Not just for the win. They fight for their peers, to protect their peers. They fight to help. There's so many different ways. And how they broke him down and allowed him to understand different ways, to understand Ume as a person and what makes him click, I think was so good. It really was. The stuff with Kill at the start, when he goes there out of his own accord to do that, it's brilliant because he learns there that he actually cares for people. And when you start to understand what Sakura is doing and how he lives by himself, he's only ever looked out for himself. A character that has only ever been that is now understanding that he has friends. He has people who care for him. He has a reason to fight other than just fighting for the win. And that is the development that they really go into in this season with Sakura. And you watch him start to grow and become a leader and accept those feelings. Because Sakura wasn't a character that would accept these feelings. He would be like, no, and just brush it off. But now he's starting to accept that responsibility, accept his friend, and willing to stick up for them. And he feels, whenever they get beaten up, he feels that pain because he feels like he failed. And I love what they did with that. And then you get to the second half, when they introduce Endo, and Endo takes a liking to Sakura and starts to say, no, I'm not bagging Sakura out. I'm actually very intrigued by him because, he's getting weighed down by all these things where he should be by himself. He should be fighting like me, going out there and doing whatever he wants. So I'm loving this and how they've already set up the Endo Sakura fight. Like, the way that they set that up is brilliant because Endo is such an interesting character because you can feel that he is someone not to trifle with. He is someone who is very, very skilled, very good at fighting, and you felt that when he appears and he's like, dodging them and stuff. But he's also that character that doesn't fight just for the sake of it. It feels like he only fights if he feels like he is interested and wants to do it. So I'm very intrigued to see how the Endo Sakura fight that they are setting up is going to be moving forward. Because, man, that ending, when they have Ume there, and Ume's like talking, and Sakura's like, he's like, well, what do you think of Endo? And Sakura tells him like he's an asshole. Don't care for him or anything like that. Like, he needs to be beaten down and stuff. And then Ume's like, well, I trust that when it comes to it, you're the one that's going to take him. And he's like, wait a second. What do you want about? You've never beaten Endo's group? Like, and Ume's like, yeah, Endo's group. But there's one person. And then this is where we find out the legend. So Endo has this legend. And we find out how Furin was actually created and everything like that. Which it is very fascinating. And how there was two ideologies that clashed. Endo's ideology and Ume's ideology. And they clashed as a group. But we find out that Endo is not. We find out who the actual strongest in the history was of this faction. And the way that they set him up at the end, my man just bodied all these people just because he can. Like, they're already showing that this is a guy who doesn't really fight for reason. He just fights because he's good at it. And you know, he's like, I think the way that they are setting it up with Ume up against this guy, the one guy that he couldn't beat, and then Sakura and Endo. I think they did a great job at setting that up. But the other characters, man, Tsubaki. Let's talk about Tsubaki, because Tsubaki was a character that, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know how to feel at the start. I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this character or anything like that. But the way they developed Tsubaki was freaking phenomenal. It was beautiful writing. That episode with the old folks in it, I thought was phenomenal. It was emotional. And the way that Tsubaki fights when he starts fighting the guy that comes to take the little girl was phenomenal. And you just see Tsubaki as someone not to mess with as well. Like, he is freaking unbelievable. But I just think the character itself became an instant favorite. I was like, yo, Tsubaki's actually... And that's what I love about Windbreaker. It's not about the fights. Like, the fights are great. There is a lot of great action in Season 2. But as Ume says, like, you know, you're having a conversation with the fights. And I think that's what Windbreaker does really well, that separates it from just the other, you know, action sort of like animes that you're going to watch. When they fight, there's a narrative behind it and you feel that narrative. And Tsubaki's fight is driven with narrative. When you have those two people that are fighting almost for the same reasons, except they're taking different paths to get there, was just so interesting to see. And this season, they took their time to develop the characters. And they took their time to develop Tsubaki. Because if they didn't, then we're just like, okay, it's just one of those strong fighters and stuff like that. But instead, they give you all this detail and this depth to this character that instantly attaches you to that character. So when that character is fighting, you're like, oh, yes, I'm on Tsubaki's side. But then they develop the villain as well, the guy who's trying to do it, and you know where he comes from and what he's fighting for. And you're like, I understand why this guy is fighting so hard. I understand he's not a bad, evil person. He's doing what he has to do to feed everyone, to survive, essentially. So they did such a great job with all of that stuff. It is phenomenal. And like I said, the action is brilliant, man. The action is really, really good. I thought that was great. Suho. Let's talk about Suho, man. Suho, the eye patch guy. Bro, I love him. I love him. Like, just the way he fights is so elegant. It's brilliant. And how he trains the other guy who, you know, is Sakura's first friend. He trains him and, like, because he wants to help out, but he doesn't feel like he's any, you know, use to them. So he's like, I'll show you a few things here and there. And when he gets involved, it's great. But Suho is fantastic. I love watching him fight. He's just so brilliant and elegant and stuff. And it's just so good. It's so good. But I thought animation was great as well. I thought the music was great. The opening is fantastic. I just think Windbreaker Season 2 was just phenomenal. I thought it was really, really good. I really liked Season 1. This one's even better. Season 2 was even better. And I really believe that this is going to continue on with this quality and higher up. And I'm so interested to see how this Endo storyline is going to play out. Obviously, I haven't read it, so I don't know if I should read it beforehand or if I just wait and watch and then go back and read it. But I think they did such a great job at setting everything up. I thought the atmosphere, the characters, the dynamic that they created, the Sakura and Endo stuff is just phenomenal. You know, Sakura hates this guy, thinks he's an asshole, thinks he's all this. But Endo is very much like, ooh, I'm interested in you. Come with me. Like, you know, trying to almost persuade him to come and join in a way. And Sakura, after everything that he's learned, is not going to budge and easily just give in to that. I think old Sakura might have just given in to that. But now that he's learned from Ume, he's learned from everyone else as this story has progressed, I feel like he has now come to a position where he knows what he's fighting for now. He knows that these is his people. These are the people that he loves dearly, and they love him. And it's just such a great development for him. But I love Season 2. Let me know what you guys thought of Season 2. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you not? Smash it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe. And peace out.